People talk about war, we consider its cost. Over the past 15 years, the Gaza Strip has been destroyed and reconstructed more often than some countries manage to change governments. On average, every 2 to 3 years. Strikes, destruction, footage of ruins, urgent statements, humanitarian aid, reconstruction reports, and again, strikes. If you look at this as a series of tragedies, it seems like chaos. If you look at it as a system, something else becomes obvious. It's simply a cycle, repeating, sustainable, and most unpleasantly economically profitable for a whole set of players. Since 2008, Operations Cast Lead, Pillar of Defense, Protective Edge, escalations of 2021, then 2023 to 2024. Each of them destroyed Gaza's infrastructure, housing, electrical networks, water supply, roads, hospitals, and each ended not with peace but with reconstruction. Not development, reconstruction. And these are fundamentally different things. Development creates a new economy. Reconstruction only returns what was destroyed to a minimally acceptable level, sufficient so the system doesn't collapse completely and can enter the next cycle. According to UN and World Bank data, from 2008 to 2022 alone, more than $40 billion in humanitarian and reconstruction aid was directed to Gaza. For a territory with a population of about 2 million people, this is a colossal sum. Per capita, more than many Eastern European countries received after the collapse of the USSR. But if you look at Gaza's GDP, unemployment rate, access to electricity and water, we see almost complete stagnation. The economy doesn't grow. It freezes between strikes. Why? Because reconstruction is not a neutral process. It's a market, with contractors, logistics, supplies of cement, metal, fuel, generators, medicines. Each round of destruction automatically triggers demand, and this demand forms a chain of benefits. The first point of the cycle, destruction. It instantly zeroes out infrastructure and creates deficit. The second point, international reaction. Donors announce aid packages, Qatar, EU, UN structures, individual countries. Money doesn't come directly to the population. It's distributed through agencies, funds, contracting organizations. The third point, reconstruction, housing construction, network repairs, temporary solutions. The fourth point, stabilization at minimum, not growth, not modernization. Minimum sufficient for survival. And the fifth point, a new escalation that again zeroes out all previous efforts. If you look at UNRWA and UNDP reports, you'll see the same wording repeated year after year. Restoration of basic conditions, not economic growth, not industrialization, not job creation outside the humanitarian sector. Basic conditions. This is the ceiling of the constructed system. Now let's look at who benefits from this. For power inside Gaza, primarily for Hamas, war and reconstruction fill several functions simultaneously. First, they preserve monopoly on resource control. In conditions of destruction and blockade, any bag of cement, any generator, any fuel becomes a lever of power. Second, war legitimizes governance through emergency status. In a peaceful economy, you need to answer for growth, jobs, income. In a military one, it's enough to speak about resistance and survival. Third, reconstruction provides shadow income. Taxes, kickbacks, control over aid distribution. This is documented in international auditor reports and investigations, including data from Israeli and Western intelligence services. For international structures, the situation is more complex, but also systemic. Humanitarian agencies exist as long as there is a humanitarian crisis. Their budgets, mandates, and influence directly depend on the scale of catastrophe. A complete solution to the Gaza problem, political and economic, would mean cutting dozens of programs, missions, offices. This doesn't mean malicious intent. It means institutional self-preservation instinct. The system maintains what it's built on. For contractors and logistics chains, reconstruction is a stable market. Not a one-time contract, but a repeating one. Destruction is bad, but predictable destruction with subsequent reconstruction is a business plan. Each new round of escalation renews demand. Now let's look at the numbers. According to World Bank estimates, reconstruction after the 2014 operation was estimated at $3.6 billion. After 2021, about $500 million. After the events of 2023-2024, estimates grew to tens of billions. And this is only direct damage. Indirect losses, lost years of education, youth unemployment, human capital degradation, aren't even included in these figures. Let's compare. After World War II, the Marshall Plan gave Western Europe about $13 billion in prices of that time. But this money went not to restore as it was, but to restructure economies, factories, infrastructure, trade. In Gaza, money goes to restore what will almost certainly be destroyed again. And here's the key point. Reconstruction without sovereignty, without an open economy, and without a political solution is not a step toward peace. It's a pause between wars. Economic anesthesia, allowing the conflict neither to die nor to resolve. Look at the labor market. Unemployment in Gaza consistently holds at 40–50%. Among youth, up to 70%. This is not an economy. This is a reservoir of frustration. And each new round of reconstruction doesn't reduce these figures because it doesn't create production chains. It creates temporary jobs: clear, build, report. Now let's ask the most uncomfortable question. Is it profitable to destroy Gaza again? From the perspective of human life, no. From the perspective of system sustainability, yes, because each round of destruction renews financial flows, preserves power inside the sector, allows external players to demonstrate participation without solving the problem, and postpones the real political exit, which is too expensive for all parties. This is the price of reconstruction. It's measured not only in billions of dollars, but in lost time. 15 years is an entire generation. People who could have been building an economy grew up inside the cycle: strike, ruins, aid, waiting for the next strike. If you remove emotions and look at Gaza as a system, you'll see that destruction and reconstruction have become its normal state. And normal state is what the system will reproduce again and again until basic conditions change. And here's the main conclusion. Gaza is destroyed not because someone wants to destroy it again, but because reconstruction in the existing configuration doesn't break the war algorithm. It services it. It makes the conflict manageable, predictable, and, in a certain sense, profitable. The price of war in Gaza is not only destroyed homes, it's stuck time, an economy that never begins, money that doesn't turn into future, and a cycle that repeats because no one is interested in stopping it completely. War is an algorithm, and reconstruction without exit is its continuation. This was an episode of the format The Cost of War. If you want to understand how modern conflicts really work, stay with us, because this cycle will be called temporary more than once again.